Hi, this is Mr. Chandler. In today's unit, we're going to look at the impact of the Declaration of Independence and the American Revolution at the time and then on today's society as well, and how both of those things established ideals of a democratic republic. There's a really big misconception about the Declaration of Independence. Most people believe that it broke us away from Great Britain, and it did formally break us away from Great Britain, but really we had already been fighting for over a year. It's really intended to get the colonists to agree to the Revolutionary War, to try and convince some of those people in the colonies that were reluctant to fight that independence was a good idea. And it was also a form of propaganda. Another misunderstood idea is that supporting independence would have been an easy decision, and it wasn't. Most colonists really thought of themselves as Englishmen first and then colonists second, and they certainly didn't believe in a unified United States. It would have meant a complete change of political and economic structure, and it could possibly fail, and they could end up getting hurt, dying, or losing their economic livelihood. And so a lot of colonists don't really like the idea of independence initially. So then the Declaration of Independence was written by Thomas Jefferson. What's really important to understand are the important points that came out of the Declaration. For one, he articulated the concept of limited government, or he explained the idea of limited government, in which the government's power is going to be very, very limited by the people. He also uses a lot of John Locke's ideas, including his natural rights, and he also has the idea that all men are created equal in there, and that the purpose of the government is really to secure those rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if they don't secure those rights, then we can abolish the government. That's the social contract theory. It's also addressed to the king, primarily because it's easier to blame one man instead of a group of people, and that would help get the colonists upset and more willing to fight. The immediate benefit of the Declaration was it allowed us to enter into a foreign alliance with the French. Without the French help, we would have never been able to win this war. The French actually wait until we win a battle, which was the Battle of Saratoga, before they join in. Without their help, though, we would have never won because we wouldn't have had their naval support, and that wouldn't have helped us have that final victory at Yorktown. So the French are absolutely essential to our success in this war, and that's because of the Declaration of Independence, even though, ironically, they don't have democracy there at the time. The principles of the Declaration really impacted the new government at the time. Because Thomas Jefferson blamed the king for a lot of the problems, the states were very, very reluctant to create another person who would be like a king. And so in their state governments, they created very, very weak executives, and this would be like the governor of the state. And then in the national government, the Articles of Confederation, they also didn't even have a president because they were so worried that that person would get too much power like the king, as Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence. After the Revolutionary War, Americans really started to put these principles into practice that were included in the Declaration of Independence. For one, all men are created equal caused them to gradually emancipate some of the slaves that were in the North. Remember, they didn't really need slaves because they didn't grow cash crops. States also included freedom of religion into their state constitution, and then they also had widespread white male suffrage. And so they took away a lot of the restrictions that caused white males not to be able to vote. So this is a major thing that came about because of the Declaration of Independence and the ideals that were included within it. You cannot help but see the unfulfilled principles and promises of the Declaration, however. For instance, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The problem is a lot of people at the time don't have those rights. If you look at African Americans, you look at women, you look at Native Americans, none of them are really getting those rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so that's going to be a rallying cry that they're going to use in those movements later in American history. It's also been used around the world as a rallying cry, in particular with the French Revolution. They borrowed very, very heavily from the Declaration of Independence. And so it's a very, very important document that still is used today, both in the United States and outside the United States. Thank you very much for watching. Please go to Edmodo and do your quiz, and also take a picture of your notes guide and turn those in on Edmodo as well. Thank you. Have a great day.